The humble archer, armed with sticks, strings, and yet more feathered sticks, the archer strikes fear into marching armies from afar. I think it is safe to say that the bow-wielding battalion is among the most popular unit classes in this mod we hold so dear, and yet one of their core mechanics has, so far, not gained its deserved attention. What benefit does the archer get from gaining experience? It's time for another Total Waffle test available here on the Tube of U-Turns for you fine folks to gander, sneer, and cheer at. So this is the question that I therefore want to investigate. Can you make archers more effective at ranged combat by increasing experience? How much does it help? And what could be the cause of this hypothetical improvement? Before going into the test itself, let's lay down the rules of today's Total Waffle test. For test subjects, I have chosen a low tier, a mid tier, and a high tier archer unit. The Gondor Archer Militia is the lowest common denominator here, and is broadly representative of its low tier class. The unit has lowish range, lowish accuracy, and unremarkable damage, which is overall best for dealing with large, unarmored units. The Sworn Archers of the Northern Dunedain represent a pretty good archer unit, whose overall quality level is represented in the roster of most factions. They have good range, decent accuracy, and pretty good damage, which will nonetheless struggle with heavy armor. For the last unit in today's program, I wanted to test the most accurate archers in the game, and for this purpose I went for the Hin Idaur of Mirkwood. Their range, accuracy, and damage are all unsurpassed, at least on the face of their stats. All of these units will be lined up at the starting point of the battle space to give them the same approximate range to work with. They have fire at will and guard mode toggled on, and skirmish mode toggled off. Each test would conclude at the moment when the first archer was killed in melee, marking the point when the archers had been effectively reached by the enemy. Since all these archers are pretty lightly armored in the grand scheme of things, I felt this a fitting measure rather than pulling out a stopwatch and trying to time everything to seconds. We needed a target for this session. For this, I have chosen the Haven Guard of Dol Amroth. They have good morale, good armor, and no shield. Essentially, they're quite durable, and we would keep the impacts of losing 1,000 troops on the field to a minimum. 2 units of Haven Guard per archer battalion seemed sensible for this test, so that there would always be plenty of them to shoot at. Each unit would be tested with 4 experience levels: 0, 1, 5, and 9. Each experience level will be tested 3 times. We kick off with the Gondorian Archer Militia. They are no one's favourite archer, I think it's fair to say, but it is hard not to be appreciative of the improvements these guys see when making even modest experience gains. From the numbers shown, we can see a pretty clear trend. It very decisively goes up, and this trend is very much in keeping with the hypothesis that experience should boost combat effectiveness. So even though their damage is not affected, something else is. From 0 to 9 XP, we actually see an increase of 62% in kill tally on average, which is quite drastic. It does not suddenly make them go toe-to-toe with higher tier archers, but the increase is nonetheless substantial and certainly makes a difference in the heat of battle. The big question then: will better archers see a similar improvement? Sitting in the middle of one of the defining archer rosters of Middle-earth, the Sworn Archers of the Northern Dunedain represent a good all-round unit that can elevate your army in the early game and not let it down too badly in the late game. Their nominally high accuracy is miles ahead of the Archer Militia, which one might take as an indication of less substantial gains to come. Despite a couple of results here confounding expectations, especially at the 1 experience level, we do see a clear upward trend in the figures, with the average seeing an improvement of almost 100 kills per battle, for 10 units that is, when hitting the highest experience level. This makes for a percentage increase of around 30%. From 0 to 9 chevrons of experience, the benefit to your sworn archers will increase with 30% extra kills on average. Although this is not as strong as the percentage increase seen by the militia, it is marginally larger as an increase in terms of the numbers of troops actually killed. It is safe to say that while the sworn archers do not benefit as much percentage-wise as the archer militia, it is nonetheless a strong boost to their combat effectiveness, and you should cultivate it whenever possible. Rounding out this round of raving tests, the highest archer stats in Middle-earth are put to the test through the DaC. These madmen are so effective at neutralizing enemy infantry formations that they almost threw the test because of their effectiveness at taking down even heavily armored troops from afar. But I still find their test results indicative of the trend set by their less talented peers. Beyond the general upward trend of the averages, one thing jumps out. Somehow, the third round of 0 XP DaC managed to nail their role in battle and get a result comparable to their most experienced counterparts. This tells me that due to their extreme base level accuracy, their improvement in accuracy overall is noticeable but marginal. What makes the most difference for these guys is how well their insane damage and body-piercing arrows are used tactically during the battle. And in this particular instance, the DaC just happened to use their firing angles far better than in the other battles. Imagine this tactical superiority combined with the high averages of the 9 XP bracket, and you have some damn fine archery results. When we are dealing with thousands of kills, a 17% increase from 1330 to 1560 is still an increase of 230 troops, or 23 per unit. Considering that they are shooting at some of the most heavily armored troops in the game, with 12 damage but no armor-piercing abilities, this is a meaningful, though not massive, difference. Especially the 2 last experience tiers seems to be the subject of quite marginal impact when compared to the archer militia of Gondor and their gains. So what can we learn from this? In the simplest terms possible, yes, archers improve their archery skill with additional experience, and my hypothesis of increased accuracy seems validated. These observations will tell you why. 1. The lower base accuracy of the units, the higher their increased kill tally will be at higher levels of experience. 2. The higher base accuracy, the less experience helps them, especially at the highest levels of experience. The experience jump from 5 chevrons to 9 chevrons is quite steep, and it would appear from these tests that for high-level archers such as the DaC, these experience points are less worth the trouble when contrasted to the gains made at the unit's lower experience levels. How you use your archers, or how they happen to align with their shots, matters as much as experience in and of itself, and this would explain the variations in performance at the lower experience levels of the sworn archers and the higher levels of the DaC. This can be controlled for with more rounds per scenario, but to be honest, I didn't feel like sludging through triple-digit numbers of battles, and so these results are but preliminary. Go test them yourself, and please comment with your findings. After all, we're all here to learn. Whatever shortcomings this series of tests may have had, I do believe that the trend they show is pretty clear. Especially lower level ranged units will improve a lot as they learn the art of battle. Experience matters a lot to the effectiveness of your archers, and if you combine good leadership with experienced troops, your armies will surely see fantastic results. But the Total Waffle tests will not stop here. Let me throw up some topic suggestions on screen. These are all fields that I could be interested in testing in the future. If you want me to investigate any of these, please let me know. Don't hesitate to do so. I will happily do it. Now it just remains for me to thank you all for watching along until the very end, and doubly thank you to my subscribers and regular commenters. You are vital to the small community of fellow wafflers here on the channel, and you truly make me happy to be running this little Total Waffle show. Be the star of kindness that outshines the dark world around us, and I will see you soon for another venture into this game we share. Captain Total Waffle, considerably out.